Now, okay, it is live. So, welcome to the big, gigantic lawn. I think it's going to be lawn, hopefully. Actually, of the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit chat, epic fan discussion, whatever you want to call it. This is where we're going to dissect and talk about the films, The Hobbit and Lord of the Rings. Talk about some extended, well, both the theatrical and extended cuts, and games we might throw in there, or certain stuff, just anything on this topic. Now, I'm joined with Sean here.
Hello.
Hi. He's a big fan of this too, so am I, and hopefully we'll get some more people on here, you know, if they happen to come across this live stream and want to join or know that we're doing this, we'll
Yeah.
gladly let them join if, and add some more people into the discussion. So, yeah, I guess, uh, without further ado, let's just get this started. Let me test it on. Let me put on my camera. 1 second.
Yes.
Okay. Make sure this doesn't freeze up. I hate when this freezes up because it's like everything just shuts down. Okay. Hopefully my camera works. And I forgot to stick up the posters. I'm horrible. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So, how I'm going to structure this is we should probably, I guess, how we did our Star Wars hangout, which was back on a whole, I guess, other channel. It was back in December, and we kind of talked about our history with the franchise and how we became a fan and what kind of made us become a fan and all that stuff. You're the guest, Sean. I'm going to let you go first.
Okay. So I see you turned your camera off.
Oh, well, sorry. I mean,
It's cool.
yeah.
So for me, I kind of got into this franchise a little late, so I wasn't part of the "oh my god, this is so awesome, best movie in the world" kind of fandom thingy.
Yeah.
But I started I got into these around 2007, and I got really, how should I say this? Really interested in the mythos of Middle Earth. I got interested in the characters. I got swept away on this adventure or whatnot, and I just had a lot of fun with the Lord of the Rings movies. So that when the Hobbit movies came out, I made sure to see every one of them in theaters, since I didn't really see Lord of the Rings in theaters.
Mhm.
And ever since, I've just enjoyed this entire series. And thanks to the Hobbit movies, this may sound weird, but it gave me a much more of an appreciation for Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Not that I didn't already appreciate them to begin with, but it just made me appreciate them even more, if that makes any sense.
Yeah. And that's I'll kind of jump in there. But yeah, I didn't see the Lord of the Rings films in the theaters. I was too young. But yeah, all the Hobbit films I saw in the theaters multiple times for each. Loved them. But again, we'll get to that. So yeah, if you want to add more stuff about it or not, I mean, go ahead, or I can start my
Go
story.
ahead.
Okay, sure. So basically, I would, this might sound kind of strange, but this also is a Star Wars too. I became a Star Wars fan, or at least knew about Star Wars, or, back when I was 2 or 3. That old, that young. I was a freaking baby. But Lord of the Rings was always something that was on I guess my mom's shelf of her books or films. And,
Mhm.
and as a kid, it's like, it sounds crazy, a 2-year-old with Lord of the Rings, but I mean that's how it was. I mean, I used to, well, I remember when I was 4 or 5, dressing up as Frodo and going in my backyard. I mean, I used to create my own costumes and stuff, and I still I have more film accurate costumes I made. I didn't buy it, I made it out of just stuff. I mean, I have Rohan costumes, some other cool stuff, just a bunch of. I even got an Aragorn sort of costume. Just a bunch of cool stuff that I created by myself, and I even created a fan film for the Lord of the Rings. But here's the problem: is I would figure out a way to somehow upload that, or to my channel. But the problem is that flash drive or that thing it was on, it was 2 years ago though, but I don't know where it is. I know that sounds, oh, well, that's what all, but yeah, I lost it. It's somewhere in my house. I'll find it one day, but I would still need to edit stuff and change stuff because we recorded about 4 hours of or 5 hours of just scenes and stuff. And we didn't necessarily have a script. We kind of, I mean, I guess, I mean, had off the book or stuff or lines from the film. But it was pretty crazy, to be honest. And I think I told you, Sean, about it too, and our other friends about that fan film too. And it was a
Yeah.
lot of fun. It was over the summer of 2014, I think. But yeah, so and I mean, I remember so many just, I mean, things of me dressing up, playing Lord of the Rings. I mean, as a kid, and just, I mean, and Star Wars too. That was also with that. But I wouldn't say. I guess you could say that I'm more of a Lord of the Rings fan over Star Wars, but if you know me at all, how much I praise Star Wars, how much I say I love it, how much I talk and ramble about it. So all of you guys know how much I love Star Wars, right? Well, I'm about to blow your mind. Now for all that much love and passion for Star Wars, there's more that I have and more that I give to Lord of the Rings, which is like the highest amount of praise. I mean, it would be impossible to express in a word or a sentence or anything how much I love the Lord of the Rings films and the Hobbit films too, or how much I love this world that Tolkien created in general. It would be impossible for me to just to I mean, love wouldn't be right to even say. It's like there's got to be a word out there that means what it means to love Lord of the Rings. I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, that's enough of me rambling about myself. But yeah, it's just kind of a history about that. And actually, one last thing. When me and my dad went to see Spider-Man 3 in the theater opening weekend, I was in my Frodo costume. So, and yeah, I went to the theater in that. Anyway, that's my crazy story. Anyway, so yeah, as you can tell so far from our history and stuff, well, Sean, did you say you read the Hobbit book, but you don't remember much, or you?
I read the book once.
Okay.
Yeah. And I used to own a copy of the book, but I lost it.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
So yeah, and also earlier today, well, not too long ago, but Sean, he emailed me the fan edits. I guess the most popular. I guess. Well, I'm sure there's multiple fan edits for the Hobbit, trilogy. But he sent me these great ones. I'm not fully done with them. I'm still on part one. But so far, and we'll talk about that more too. I like what they changed. Well, I guess they didn't change much. They just take out stuff. But yeah, I will, for sure do reviews on those separately once I get through them all. But yeah, so thanks to you, Sean. Thanks a lot. Appreciate that, and eventually I'll burn them on DVDs and create that artwork or whatever that you're supposed to do. But yeah, great stuff. But anyway, so let's get this started. And so I guess, what was, before we jump into the films, there's got to be a few more things that I can say, or things, what would be, I guess, your favorite character in Lord of the Rings? I mean, out of the Hobbit films too. I know it's a hard question because all the characters are
Yeah.
yeah, but I mean, yeah. So
Uh, honestly, I can't think of one.
that's how normally I would say, or that's how I would say. I can't. I mean, they're all great. It's saying your favorite Star Wars character, Han Solo, Boba Fett, Darth Vader. I can't, pick one, but I guess I could say this how I feel now. Probably Bilbo Baggins. Okay, he would probably be my favorite. And I'm not just talking about. I guess him as a character in general, in the book, the cartoon, the film, and yes, there is a cartoon. For those of you that don't know, there is a Hobbit cartoon, which I will talk about later. But anyway, so I guess he's I mean, but yeah, so I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite character. I mean, there's tons of characters, so yeah, let's just jump into the films, and let's start with. Do you want to start with Lord of the Rings or Hobbit, or which one do you, or chronologically? I was thinking maybe chronologically, but
Yeah, that would probably work.
but I was also thinking if we do Lord of the Rings first. But again, yeah, why not chronologically? Sure, why not? Okay, so the The Hobbit: The Unexpected Journey. I'll let Sean go first on this.
When this movie, when I first heard this movie was coming out, and I had said this in my review of the movie that I did like 3 years ago, my very first review that I did on my channel, that I first heard this movie was coming out when I was going to see The Dark Knight Rises in theaters, and they had this trailer. I was like, "Oh, sweet! They're making another Middle-earth movie." But then I got home, I did some research on the movie and the book itself, and then when the movie came out in theaters, I was there like first showing of the day at like 11:30 in the morning, really hyped to see it, and I came out like loving it, like saying that it was the best of the 4 movies at the time. I had a lot of fun seeing it. Some people complain about, oh, they're changing stuff from the books and they're adding this filler crap that doesn't need to be there. It's like, well, to those fans I say, the same problem. They were overly long, added stuff that was not needed to be there. They changed stuff from the book, etc., etc., etc. If you're going to bitch about The Hobbit, you should bitch about Lord of the Rings as well. All that out of the way, I had a lot of fun with The Hobbit. I thought it was a great film. The only downside was the way that the movie ended. I wanted to see the next one right then. I was like, fuck, I got to wait a whole year for the next movie. But I was like, now I get how people probably felt in 2001 when they saw Fellowship. But yeah, I had a lot of fun seeing the movie, getting to be back in this world again. So excited, and I didn't mind the addition stuff that they put in because I had never read the book prior to the movie. I didn't read the book until after the first film and everything else.
Huh.
Yeah, and by the way, this was my copy of the book.
Huh, yeah. My copy, I guess the one that I read, well, now I got this cool, like pocket-sized, which, this one's actually kind of cool, too. But anyway, the one I had before was, I guess, the one I wouldn't say the most popular one, but it's got, like, but yeah, anyway, it was not this, one, but, one thing I forgot to say was that to show off the DVDs and stuff we have and Blu-rays and stuff, if you want to do that, sorry, I forgot about that, if you want to do that now and then jump back to the film, sorry, I just forgot that. So if I can go first if
Go ahead.
Let's see. We should start with, I guess, VHS. I don't have much of that, but Fellowship of the Ring on VHS. This thing is old. I've had this for years. It's kind of hard to tell, but I did put my name. It's underlined right there, Parker Schmeichel. I don't know if you can see that, but anyway, this thing is old, but I've seen this. I've worn this VHS out. I mean, I swear I have, but yeah. There's that, which I think I've rented. The Return of the King on VHS at the library, at the public library, and that's on 2 VHSs, which, makes sense. But let's see here, 1 second. I got a comment on the live stream, 1 second. Okay. Anyway, I guess that's it for VHSs, but some DVDs, some other stuff. I got this cool Lord of the Rings documentary, which this is actually kind of cool. It's about an hour long, I think. And it discusses like stuff that related in our history to, I guess, the history of that Tolkien created and stuff. So it's like history, because this actually might be on YouTube actually, but this thing is great. I mean, if you're a fan of this stuff, it is very fascinating, and it shows stuff that like happened in our time that actually kind of mirror stuff that Tolkien put in, into the Lord of the Rings books. Which I will talk about more probably when we get to the Lord of the Rings films. But yeah, I mean, so great stuff there. Let's see if they're over here.
And as far as the books, I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm actually trying to get this set right here if you can see it.
I can't see it. It's just black. It's
basically just a 4-book set where it's Hobbit and all 3 Lord of the Rings books.
Yeah. Got the Hobbit cartoon right here. Pure nostalgia here. Remember watching this as a kid. So, I mean, a lot of times. Great stuff. Which was strange because, I mean, this cut out the entire Beorn scene in the book, which is probably the longest chapter in the book, actually, about almost 30 pages. But, yeah, but, I guess it's a cartoon and they can't spend, but anyway. There's that. This, I'm sure, is not very popular, I mean, not well known. The Lord of the Rings, it's the VeggieTales cartoon. This thing is cheesy as hell, but I love it. Watched it as a kid. So many, I mean, it's like the only VeggieTale I'll watch. I mean, as a kid, this was the best thing ever. But anyway, still have this because of nostalgia reasons. Obviously, let's get to more of the film stuff. This thing I was showing off camera before I went live. The Legend of the Rings, whatever. This is a stupid. It's like this is a ripoff of of Harry Potter and Lord of the Rings. Okay, but one thing, I haven't seen this. I've read the back. It even says on the front cover, okay, an epic fantasy in tradition of Harry Potter and the Lord of the Rings. So it's even saying that this thing is just fucking whatever. Screw it. I'm done. Anyway, I guess here's some Hobbit stuff. I got the Digibook. This is for the first Hobbit film, which is actually cool. I think they released a Desolation of Smaug one. I'm sure they have to release it for the rest of the 3 films. But anyway, this is cool. The back just got Thorin and the other dwarves. Inside, just discs. Well, this is the film disc and this cool booklet. Which kind of, I think I showed this in detail in my Blu-ray collection thing. But yeah, it's just a lot of cool stuff, concept art. But on the other side is just the special features in the film disc. Well, on DVD. Then Fellowship of the Ring theatrical cut, which also this is the theatrical cut, not the extended. But Fellowship of the Ring theatrical cut on Blu-ray. Fellowship of the Ring DVD, which this green case. I don't know if the camera can see it or what, but yeah, it has a greenish tint case, whatever, kind of cool. And the features for the theatrical DVDs aren't bad either. I mean, they're not as good as the extended stuff, which I do want to talk about the extended, I guess, features and stuff, because that's great stuff too. Probably we'll talk to that towards the end, but yeah, great stuff here. I got this now. This is the weirdest packaging I've probably ever seen for any DVD. Well, maybe not the craziest, but okay. This is Lord of the Rings: The Return of the King. I got this for free at what's the store called? It's like this cheap ass store, but this thing, because I'll take anything for free, especially if it's Lord of the Rings. But this is a strange. Okay, the back is weird as hell. Oh yeah, but it's weird because it's like. Because it opens up like this. It's like they taped 2 DVDs together, and it's like strange. Like you can open it like this. There's the film, and then you can flop this. It's like, what the hell? But I don't know. I got this for free. I'll take it. I don't know. I mean, it's crazy. I'm like, sure, well, why not? This thing probably looks like nothing, but it's actually the 2 Towers on DVD. It's got the special features and the film disc. It's the theatrical cut. It had a sleeve, but I've been having this for years. The sleeve, or this, the case, left, or something happened to it. 3 extended edition box sets on DVDs, 2 of the 2 Towers, and 1 Return of the King. And Blu-rays, I actually went crazy on this. 2 editions for the Lord of the Rings, extended editions, trilogy box set, whatever you want to call it. And for The Hobbit, I also got the Hobbit Extended Edition Blu-ray box set as well. Anyway, that's my stuff. I also got books and other toys and other stuff. But, Sean, if you, go ahead and show off your stuff.
I got Fellowship and 2 Towers on VHS. I'm not going to go grab them because I have to go through my closet and everything, but I'm not going to grab them. And we got The Hobbit theatrical cuts, all 3 of them. I got the extended box sets. Just bought these on Thursday. I had to get this set just to get Journey and Armies because I already had Desolation.
Mm-hmm.
So I just was like, screw it, I'll just get the box set. Plus, this Desolation in the box set comes with the slipcover. It didn't come with when I bought it. Don't know.
Oh, that's weird.
Why. I got it for some reason it didn't have the dust jacket. I didn't care. I was just glad to have the movie.
Yep.
And then I got the theatrical cuts of Lord of the Rings on DVD, Fellowship, 2 Towers, Return of the King. And I got Return of the King on extended cut.
Huh, yeah, cool.
These 2 I still have to pick up, though, on extendeds.
Huh.
Fellowship of the Ring
Huh.
Hours.
Have you watched all the Hobbit films in extended cut yet?
Yeah, I did that.
Okay. Yeah, because we can talk about that too. Because I know when we did this hangout on my other channel, you haven't at that time, right?
I think the only one I saw was Desolation.
Okay. Okay. Because I know the first Hobbit film adds like 13 or so
Yeah.
minutes of extended stuff, which but yeah, anywho, we'll get to that. So where do we leave off? Oh yeah, our experience with the first Hobbit film and where we saw it in the theater. It might sound crazy for how much I just said this stuff, but I didn't see the first Hobbit film until Christmas Eve. Okay, now
That's
opening night.
okay.
Okay. Now I need to explain here. Christmas Eve, of course. At that time, it was like 4 years ago. So it was 2012. Well, I guess like 3.5 or something, but it was a
Anyway,
while ago. Um, I was obviously not. I mean, I couldn't like just go with either some friends on opening night. I had to be with So it was it was a different time. So, but I eventually did see it. I actually kind of wanted to see it then, actually. And I mean, and friends at school, it's weird because it's like people talk, at school, because school they're like, yeah, I saw that film, The Hobbit, man, it was good, but I didn't know what the hell they were talking about. I'm like, it's like I have such experience, like I have tons of experiences where I'm at school or somewhere, and I hear these conversations that I'm not engaged in, or have or anything to talk about with. But it's like these people that I'm not saying they're dumb. It's just they don't understand what they're talking about. They could be talking about comics because actually, last year towards the end of the school year, they were saying, "Oh yeah, the new Avengers film. Yeah. Why isn't Spider-Man with the Avengers? Why isn't the X-Men in there too?" And I'm just in the classroom going, "Oh my!" Like, because obviously me, I know the reasons. I know everything, and these. I mean, of course, and I mean, I can't get upset at these people because they don't read the comics or they don't do their or they're not into this stuff. I mean, like I mean, me or you. So but it's like for some
because
reason I just get annoyed when people. Yeah, I just get sometimes annoyed when people don't get this stuff correct. It's like they say. I mean, some people get confused with Gandalf and Dumbledore from Harry Potter, and I'm just like, it just gets me angry. I just want to you know, but that's just me being a fanboy or a nerd or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, so people are talking about it at school, and I'm like, yeah, I know, because I was always carrying around, not this edition of The Hobbit, but I was when the film was coming out around Christmas time. I was carrying this around at school. I was, I was like. I mean, just Anyway, and a lot of people are saying, I mean, they just treated me like I was why do you carry on that book all the time? And I'm like, because it's just weird. But I had a few friends who were into, I guess, this stuff. But I wouldn't say they were into it as much as I was, or yeah. But I mean, so anyway, I went to see the film with me. Well, I would say, I guess, my entire family, but basically, because the majority of us are are a fan of this stuff, and I was just, I mean, it's like best one of the best theater experiences I've had. I mean, just not really just me sitting there in this dark room with popcorn and pop and watching a movie I mean, and at that time I didn't pay much attention to like the Rotten Tomatoes score, which was, I think now it's at a 60 something, I guess, which is bullshit, whatever. Well, I know it's not, rotten, but still, I think it deserves higher. But I didn't pay attention to any of that, or I didn't even watch much film reviews on the internet. I didn't, but it was great experience. I mean, I left the theater, best Christmas present ever. I mean, just perfect. And I mean, I loved it. I mean, same with you, Sean. Of course, after and well, plus I bought the DVD on opening day. I mean, well, on release day because they didn't have Blu-ray back then, but I bought the 2-disc thing, whatever, and watched it like 3-4 times that night. Great stuff. But yeah, that was my theater experience. Oh, you got something pulled up, Sean? Let me see what that is. Oh, is that the? Oh yeah, the box office results for all the films. Yeah. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, that's just my quick experience with the first Hobbit. Um, yeah, but I mean, I loved it. I know it sounds weird that I didn't say I saw it opening day, but again, back then, when you're younger, you
I
don't see much.
I actually saw this twice in the theater.
Yeah,
Yeah, because originally I was
yeah.
supposed to go with one of my friends, but they were on vacation at the time, so I ended up going later with them.
hmm
So I
And
got to see it
yeah,
twice.
yeah, and we'll get into more about the film when we talk about it. But whoops. Okay, so let's see here. Let's see. Do you want to jump into the film, or do you have more stuff to say before we get into the
Oh no, we
films?
can go ahead and jump into film.
Okay, you can go first, or just start saying stuff you like, or whatever, like that.
Um, One of the things I actually liked about this movie is that the way, and I know this is something that a lot of people for some stupid reason hate, is that these movies are these movies are thoroughly connected to the Lord of the Rings. Like
Yeah.
there's elements of these films that are put in deliberately to set up the Lord of the Rings.
Uh
Which
huh.
I know some people hate that stuff, it's fine, but I actually like it because it actually ties this universe all together. And I think that's one of the reasons why I like this franchise more than Star Wars, because the Middle Earth series feels more connected than the Star Wars movies do.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't,
Yeah. I can see that. Yeah.
you don't,
Yeah. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna say. Wait, what?
please don't bring death upon me.
Oh. I'll make sure they don't. Anyway,
I was talking about
yeah.
you.
I mean, I can see what you're saying. Oh no, I'm not gonna. Why would I even think of that? Anyway, but I understand. Anyway, yeah. I mean, I could start out with saying, yeah, these films they're trying to be two things. Okay, they're trying to be, I guess, an adaptation of The Hobbit, and at that exact same time, they're trying to be a Lord of the Rings prequel, and they are. That's what they are. But because now, I mean, this goes back way back in the late '90s. Peter Jackson had, and I think some of the other writers, were actually had an idea of they were going to make a Hobbit film first, just one Hobbit film, and if
Well,
that was successful, they were going to make two
the
Lord
way
of the Rings films.
that's how I heard it. Is they're going to make a Middle Earth trilogy, which would be one Hobbit film and two Lord of the Rings movies.
hmm Yeah, and then obviously plans changed, and then they just decided to do Lord of the Rings. Then well, again, we can talk about that when
I think it was because of
up
rights issues. I think it was because
yeah,
Hobbit
stuff
was
like
owned by MGM is why they did Lord of the Rings instead.
yeah, something like that. But anyway, yeah, it's trying to do two things here. I guess the entire Hobbit trilogy. It's trying to be a faithful adaptation to the Hobbit book, and trying to be a Lord of the Rings prequel at the same time. And obviously, you can't do the best at both of them. But what they did and what they could do was still good. And I'm not, I wouldn't say that one trilogy's better than the other. And now that all these films are released, I can't even separate them. It's like they're one story. Like watch your 20-hour or so epic fantasy. I mean, Lord of the Rings is the gold standard of a fantasy film. I mean, there's been the different ideas of fantasy stuff, but they never got into what Lord of the Rings had. I love Harry Potter too. Okay, that's
A
I
different
mean,
subject entirely.
yeah, but that still doesn't touch or get even close to what Lord of the Rings has. And I'm not trying to hate on I do enjoy Harry Potter. I mean, there's but that will never get to what depth. Hey Tavia, what's up?
Hello. Like,
Hey.
holy shit, I worked at the other game for then. Holy shit.
Uh,
This epic game was amazing. Like,
yeah.
I thought what let me tell you, this episode was awesome.
Hmm.
I won't
Cool.
get spoilers, but oh boy, what to say about zombies?
Huh.
And that's all I'm saying.
Huh. Anyway, so do you have time tonight to talk about some Lord of the Rings and Hobbit
Yeah,
stuff?
yeah, I have time
Okay.
tonight.
Okay, sure. If we want to kind of backtrack here, talk about how you became a Lord of the Rings and Hobbit fan, or what, or what kind of, and then yeah, and then talk about well, we're just on the first Hobbit, so we're not too far in.
Okay.
But yeah, so just talk about how you became a fan, and I guess yeah, you'll be caught up. So
Well, I became a fan through the movies, obviously. Um, that's how I got into Lord of the Rings. I never read
mhm.
the books. Probably in the Hobbit one, got so bored that I couldn't finish it. He's like, boring. Like, I'm done. And I just saw the movies.
Yeah, one thing is that a lot of people do say, I know our friend, Michael, because we did this one hangout, and then we kind of had this, I guess, debate about Lord of the Rings, and he was saying that the films are boring, and I just couldn't understand it. I mean, I couldn't wrap my head around that. And even the books, I hear people
Yeah.
saying, "Oh, they're too long," or this, and I'm like,
Yeah.
to be honest, if you get bored with the Lord of the Rings films, especially the films, it's like you must get bored with a lot of films because I mean,
Yep.
it's like yeah, they're long. Yeah, I mean, but I mean, they're long for a reason.
Yeah.
There's a reason. I mean, it's not like Transformers 4 where it's just endless
Yeah. With
explosion.
my action scene with
It's like
no substance, no.
yeah. I mean, at least there's a reason. I mean, I enjoy Transformers 4 as a guilty pleasure, as a stupid, dumb action film, but I know it's bad. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I mean,
But
but but yeah, I mean that's my main point is that these films, mainly the Lord of the Rings, there's a reason for I mean for it to be 3-4 hours long.
yeah.
Anyway, but we'll
There's
get to
kind of
those
story
films.
you pack in. It's included extended cut. The extended cut actually also adds more story.
Yeah, and even in the book, there's more. Even the extended cut of all three Lord of the Rings films, there's stuff that ain't in there that is in the book, which
Yep.
is because there's just so much depth. I mean, any writer who even tries to come close to what Tolkien created. Like he spent his entire life creating this world that doesn't exist. But I mean, it's crazy. I mean, no author or any creator will get to this close of depth and imagination. I mean, they'll but yeah. So
In fact, a lot of games actually take infinite tokens like
yeah, yep.
Warcraft did it. Um, or no, I can't count StarCraft. StarCraft is space. Dragon Age did it. Yeah, Dragon Age Origins. The bio that bit that got token well short of. It didn't borrow token mythology. Obviously, it takes inspiration from it and does its own unique spin on it.
Yeah.
Like,
But yeah. Um.
Dragon probably did it well. With
Mhm.
I never played Dungeons and Dragons at all. I just know it through puppet media.
Yeah. So yeah, let's start continue where we were about the Hobbit film. On the unexpected journey. So I was kind of talking about some stuff. I'll let you, Tavia, kind of talk about what you like and kind of talk about the film. So go ahead, Tavia.
Okay, a little backstory on me on The Hobbit. Like, I saw the Lord of the Rings movie at the theaters, obviously. So after Return of the King, I I didn't even know there were made a Hobbit movie because I thought the Lord of the Rings was just one and done. But then
Apparently, you are not steeped in your trivia.
that was true. I mean, but years passed. I was in to get down at The Hobbit. And I was excited about this. Why? Because it was returned to Middle Earth. And despite what the critics say about what I just don't get the critics at all because it is like, I have no idea what it is. It's just like newsflash writers, newsflash critics, the Hobbit actually would make before Lord of the Rings. And I saw in IMAX. But was it worth it? 3D IMAX, 3D not worth it. IMAX itself, it was worth it.
This is the box office earning from all 6 movies.
Nice.
And you know what annoys me about what people say about the Hobbit movies? Is
What?
here's what people say is, oh, these aren't adaptations, they're prequels. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, okay, put it this way,
Hobbit was
people.
pretty good to begin with.
Okay, but here's what I think is no matter if they would have made the movie note for note like the book or put all these in, they would still have been prequels because they exist in the same universe, feature some of the same characters, and take place prior to
Yeah.
the events of Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
That qualifies as a prequel. So no matter
Uh-huh.
But the Hobbit was made before Lord of the Rings. People keep forgetting that.
that too, but it doesn't matter whether this was a straight adaptation or had made as they are now. Either way, they would have still been a prequel to the Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Yep.
So this whole prequel versus adaptation bullshit, bye bye.
Yep. And people keep forgetting that the Hobbit was made before Lord of the Rings. So
Book, yes. Movie, no.
yes, that's true. But see the thing, people keep forgetting that the Hobbit was made before Lord of the Rings. That is true. But movie-wise, it made sense to do the Hobbit because there's nowhere else to go even after Lord of the Rings. The story is over, so you only have one option: do the Hobbit. And which I think Peter Jackson did a great adaptation of the Hobbit.
Yeah.
Just like this movie. This was written before Silence of the Lambs, but came out after, which makes it a
Mhm.
prequel.
I actually like that movie. It's really good.
Why?
It's very underrated.
Well, I guess I can say some stuff. But yeah, I mean, what you're saying, Tava, yeah. I mean, it's like, yeah, because, I mean, I don't know if you know this, if you were watching, but I did say that Sean emailed me the fan edits of The Hobbit, and I'm over halfway through part 1. I'm gonna watch part 2 tomorrow, probably or something. But they do cut out with what?
I didn't even know what a fan edit. Huh.
Oh,
Of course.
well,
Yeah, a lot of people have been fan editing the Hobbit movies, but this one is more professional.
yeah, it's
professional
definitely
made.
the most, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I recommend it to, I mean, yeah, I mean, it's good. But, they, in that fan edit, they cut out, I mean, the whole Radagast, I mean, subplot with,
The
um,
Necromancer.
yeah,
Why I get the grant?
yep,
I get the
with
Yeah,
the
but
Mortal
Radagast wasn't
Blade.
even in the book. Radagast was only mentioned. That's
Yeah,
what
and,
Radagast
I mean, with,
looked at his cut.
yep, Radagast is, he's actually, yes, he is, referred to in, well, yes, in the chapter with Beorn and stuff. But anyway, and the whole, well, I guess the blade the whole
Mortal
subplot
Blade.
with that, that feeds into Desolation Smog and gets its conclusion in
Yep.
Battle of Five Armies. That is, I'm sure, taken out of the whole fan edit, the whole
But that's very important to get of Canada. That's when Canada left the group.
but yes, but when you break down the timelines, okay,
One of the changes is that the whole Necromancer subplot is gone.
I like
Here's
that.
the thing,
That's a
okay.
plot.
He does go back in the book, where he leaves and we don't even know where he's going.
Okay, yes. Because in the Hobbit book, they don't mention where he went or what. Okay, but now here's the thing. In the Lord of the Rings, okay, this is the 3-volume set, okay. And there is the appendices, if you guys read it, it's great stuff. There is the timeline that J.R. Tolkien wrote. I think it's Appendix B. It says that there's actually been multiple accounts in times that Gandalf has traveled to Dungledore. Besides, because they never, in the timeline that he never traveled there in the Hobbit storyline. But obviously in the film, they have to find something within the appendices to add it to the Hobbit films to give because it wouldn't really make sense. It's like Gandalf just leaves and then it's like,
Yeah, that
wow.
wouldn't make any sense.
I mean, wow. Yeah, that would have been weird, Yeah, but here's how I guess, would have handled it.
He'd be like, wow, Gandalf.
Don't show how Gandalf, where he went, what he did. So there's that suspense. So once the dwarves realize, wow, where the hell is Gandalf? It adds to the suspense. Okay? But then when Gandalf reaches, I guess once you get, I guess, in Dale. No, in Dale, that's where all the men of but
Anyway,
yeah, I mean that's where they're at. Once he arrives there, which he tells the story of of how he found Sauron and where he was hiding. So yeah, to add to the suspense, I probably would have done something like that. But anyway, but yes, in the book, in this in this it does say that he's been there on multiple accounts. It's like the White Council. It's with I mean, yeah, I'm Saruman, Gandalf, and Elrond, and Galadriel, and all all those people. So yeah, just a bit of some trivia there. Anyway, but so yes, that it does make sense for them to put that in in the film, and it's not like it's
I actually like that part. So
and it's a subplot throughout the entire 3 films. It's not just in one, it's not just in 1 or 2. It's in all 3, which is
that makes sense.
It starts in the first film and it ends in the last when it gets its conclusion. And one difference from the book, which I'm sure from but Azog, he is mentioned in the book. I think on page, let's see if I'm right, 24. Let's check. Hopefully I'm right.
According to the book,
he
was killed by Dane, I think, during the Battle of Moria.
Yep.
Yes. I was actually right. Exact page 24. No joke.
Nice.
As you got the fire.
But being they wanted an additional antagonist, they changed his fate to Thorin cutting his arm off.
Yeah.
Which I like. That makes sense.
Yeah, and Bolg is, which is technically his son, which we see in Desolation of Smaug. He, as actually, I guess, the main, which they're not called orcs, and it's more they're goblins, which I wouldn't say goblins and orcs are the same thing. They're two different. I wouldn't say. I wouldn't say they're two different species, but they're I guess yeah. So, but yeah, it does say so. Bolg kind of takes Azog's place in the book, but anyway, but yes, so. Yeah, but I'm glad they didn't keep Azog dead, because it kind of gives Thorin a personal story, because
two personal stories.
And and because it's about trying to get their homeland back, and then it gets more personal, especially in Battle of the Five Armies with Azog and Thorin.
And Thorin collected about the gold.
Yep, yeah, and. It's because in the book and also in the cartoon, which I showed, but anyway, there ain't like the Arkenstone or anything. It's like they always kind of refer to, I guess, some cup or some golden cup or something.
The Arkenstone was mentioned at the end.
Yes, it was. But I guess because actually in the book, Bilbo grabs this golden cup, and that's what I guess leads to all the gold, and it falls down and the Arkenstone. Yeah, and Smaug wakes up.
Which was the main goal for the point.
So yes, the Arkenstone is in the book, but in the cartoon they don't even mention. I haven't seen the cartoon in a couple of months, but yeah. So
yes, yeah, old.
But yeah, so yeah, so the first Hobbit film, it's definitely. One thing is that even the haters of the Hobbit films still say the acting is good. Peter Jackson is a good actor. Yes, I like no, yeah. He's not. He's not an actor, but he's a great actor. Directors.
Yep.
He knows how to handle actors. He knows how to give them dialogue that means something and is not just because and that's what's good is that it's got good. The score for not just the Hobbit films, for the Lord of the Rings films.
Yeah, the entire story.
I'm gonna sound like a bitch, okay? I will say this: the score for, I can just search it up and hear that stuff, and I'll start crying. Like that is just fucking crazy. I am no joke. It is like
I have all 3 Hobbit soundtracks.
Yeah, and it brings tears to my eyes, because plus from all the great, the music is the best film soundtrack I've seen of all time, next to, Star Wars, of course, but this, Howard Shore, he composed all 6 films. Great, just the greatest film score I've ever heard. And and that's just me. It's fine to disagree, but just the score is amazing. The cinematography is. Peter Jackson is such a great director, and I know a lot of people weren't the biggest fan of the 2005 King Kong. Are you guys a fan of that?
Oh yeah, wait. Oh
Never
wait,
seen it.
you got me out there. I was on that list because Super Fucking Kong. I ain't like that much. It's not a bad movie. It's not. It's a good movie, but oh god, it's so long to get Island. It's so boring.
I haven't ever found that film boring for some. I don't know. It's weird. I have, but
It's not a bad movie. It's not a bad movie. I think Will Smith is a good movie.
yeah,
But for me, I couldn't get into it.
yeah. I don't understand
Yeah,
how people. Yeah, because understand how that's. But it's cool. I respect it. Yeah. But anyway, Peter Jackson definitely extends action sequences, but it's not like in a Michael Bay way, where it's
yeah.
like the action at least has a Like especially the Battle of Helm's Deep in the Two Towers. That whole entire action scene serves a purpose, and it's like and the constant suspense and build up. It builds that battle up, and back then it was probably the greatest battle put to film, and
It
that was
was.
2002. So back then people were blown away, but now we see all these epic battles and the Transformer films. And all these comic book films, which aren't bad battles, but we just see a lot of big epic battles nowadays. But back then it was something rare that you don't.
Back then it was amazing.
Yeah.
Don't get on. Transformers. Okay, the first one was good. The first one knew what it was about. It just had a good structure to a good story.
Yeah.
It's good when everything went to shit.
Yeah.
Sequels suck. Anyway, what? After the Hobbit battle, made more sense. Because both Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit made sense because the Hobbit was a personal story. Lord of the Rings is more of an epic adventure story that tried to save the world. Hobbit more personal, more grounded.
Yeah.
Granted, they went that battle for the army, but that's understandable because they could battle for armies. Technically, there's only 4 armies. If you think about it.
Humans, dwarves, elves, eagles, orcs. Or in the book, goblins.
Well, in the book, they actually. Yeah. Wait. Can you repeat that again? I just want to.
Orcs.
Well, dwarves, goblins
Humans.
in the book, and then the eagles.
Well, and humans.
Actually, in the book, they actually do mention what the 5 armies are, and the eagle ain't like the eagles aren't an army. It's actually the wargs, which are the wolves. Which there is a but you are correct for because in the page they do have a token as a quick description of what army. But yeah, you are correct for the most part. I want to make sure, but anyway, it doesn't But yeah, there are more species and stuff that does come later on in the battle and help fight. But I guess the main armies, are 5. The main 5 ones.
Yep.
Which also, I guess, in the film you could also say it's
Sauron forces.
Yes. There's 2 orc forces because there was a plan where that I think Bolg would come with his orc army from the other side, so they would be distracted fighting at first each other, then the other orcs from Azog's army. But when Bolg would come around, they would be distracted, and that would be their plan of attack. But anyway, we'll talk more about that when we get to that film. But yeah, so any more thoughts on the unexpected journey or anything you want to say?
More fun aspect was seeing at the elf homeworld, not homeworld, the elf basically at the home dining with
Rivendell.
Yeah, Rivendell. Let's see Rivendell then. St. Peter. That was amazing.
It was.
And put out to see the White Council with Gandalf and completely got the name.
and you bring up the White Council. I just thought of this. Okay,
Mhm.
by having Saruman there as part of the White Council, we now have a reference point for in Fellowship when Elrond says, "And now you tell me Saruman has betrayed us." We have
Yep.
that reference point now, seeing
Yeah.
them all as friends.
Yep.
That's why
Which
I
I
like
like.
to make all these connections.
I
Uh-huh.
like it too.
Say what?
I agree. I like it too. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Parker, did I lose you or something?
Oh no. I'm just editing the wallpaper or
Oh,
like the thumbnail that I'm
Oh
gonna
no.
use. Sorry if I'm kind of quiet, but that's what I'm, you know.
what I was saying is, do you remember in Fellowship when when Elrond said, "And now you tell me Saruman has betrayed us. Our list of
Yeah.
allies grows thin." Well, okay, now in Unexpected Journey, because of the White Council scene, we have a reference point for what he's talking about.
Mhm.
Thing is,
Yeah.
Saruman,
Yeah.
there's
Exactly.
one thing that still confused me to this day. Even after Battle Farm, they still haven't explained why Saruman betrayed the White Council to begin with, even with the Five Armies movie.
I couldn't tell you, dude. Maybe he was seduced by power.
Well, okay.
I don't
Okay.
really know.
They kind of touch base in this in the special features or the appendices of the Lord of the Rings extended editions, okay? Which I want to talk about too, but that would be towards the very end, okay?
The movie all day.
Yeah, we're gonna be
Oh,
here
and
all night.
And
Yeah.
also, I just remembered this. The scene in the trailer when Saruman for this movie, and I know I'm going a little ahead right now for this, but I want to get this out before I forget it. Is that in the trailer, in the line where he says, "Leave Sauron to me," I so called in the trailer that it was going to foreshadow his betrayal.
Yeah.
Technically, he did still say that, see, because Saruman actually
I
was
know.
to
What I'm saying is, I looked that up online, and I was like, I was right just from the trailer that it was going to foreshadow. So
Uh-huh.
I thought that was really cool that I basically called that.
Yeah.
But continue.
I guess who was talking or what, or I kind of forgot.
I think you were.
continue actually why Saruman like betray Saruman.
Yeah. Okay. Well, they kind of touch base on this in the special features. Where like, I mean, it's like if you, which actually, I'm sure. Tell me if I'm wrong. If you guys do know this, but in the book of the Lord of the Rings, only in the book, not in the film. Okay. Saruman becomes, I guess, the many-colored Saruman. Okay, he has all these shades of colors instead of just white. Because he says, I think it's a line where when you break the white light, you see the colors in it or something like that. And so Saruman, it's what? Do you know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Okay. Well, have you read the book though?
Nope.
Okay, yeah.
Like I said, I read the book. I haven't seen the movies.
Okay, yeah, because when we get to Lord, when we get to Lord of the Rings, I have a lot to say about, as far as from book to film comparisons, but anyway, so it's like the best way I can say it is that it's like he kind of thinks, okay, Sauron's eventually gonna find the ring somehow, and if I stay on the side that I am on now, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen to me? But the one thing that Saruman doesn't realize is that if he goes to the other side, which would basically lead, because if you really think about it, and if Sauron did conquer, everything, Saruman he probably wouldn't stay around that long. Sauron would probably eventually kill him too, because when you think about it, Saruman and Sauron are the two most powerful, I guess, people, as
Besides the
in
Balrog,
here.
obviously.
Well, yeah, and Lady Galadriel is actually powerful too, which they actually in the Battle of the Five Armies when she banishes Sauron, they do say that she lost a lot of her power, and that's why they do take her to Lothlorien, which we see in the Fellowship of the Ring. But he's eventually gonna die either way, even if he goes to the side with Sauron or stays on the side he's on now.
But again, I say, but there's only one Lord of the Ring.
Yeah.
Only one. She does not share power.
Yeah. So he thinks in his mind that like, okay, I might as well join Sauron because he's gonna conquer everything soon, so I might as well be, you know, you know, like on his side. So it's kind of a, but yeah, I
Double
guess,
sword, basically.
yeah. I mean, there's probably more to it and more stuff, but that's best way that I can, I guess, say it.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll probably never find out. Who knows?
but yeah. Anyway, so let's see. Oh yeah, probably the best scene in the film is the entire, the entire scene of Gollum and Bilbo. I mean that even in the book, that is a great scene. It feels like I'm watching a play. Watching these two characters, these two great characters, play off of each other and interact in this amazing conversation with amazing dialogue. And not every line is, well, it's not exactly in the book because I read some of the let's see here, trying to find the chapter here. Well, it's fine, but yeah, that
Chapter
scene
5.
is. Yeah, but yeah, that scene is great. That
You're
scene,
welcome.
well, yeah, I actually, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, chapter 5, which chapter 5. Okay, tell me this. What chapter? I just want to quiz you here. What chapter is just stupid random questions, I guess. I don't know. What chapter, Tavia, what?
I don't know.
No, I'm asking Sean. What chapter is The Flies and Spiders? That's the title of the chapter. Don't research it.
Chapter 10?
Think about it. Think about it. If the Gollum chapter is 5,
Wait, chapter 8.
you're researching it. You.
That's cheating.
But are you right? You said 8. It is 8. Yes, you little cheater. Anyway, it's cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah, anyway. But yeah, I turned on my camera. I guess it's fine. But yeah, as I was saying, that scene is great. That's probably the standout scene in the entire film. But yeah, you don't see Smog. You see him in the well, I guess the flashback or the prologue. Yes, at the beginning of the film. And then at the very last shot of the film, you see his eye, which I like how the eye is kind of, well, does resemble a keyhole a bit. His eye, which the whole, on the Desolation of Smog Blu-ray.
And I'm interrupting. Do you want to know why we don't see a full image of Smaug in the movie?
I know why, because I watched. Yeah, I know.
It's because they hadn't fully rendered him yet.
Yep. Which makes sense.
And that's how Gollum was in Fellowship. We only saw like bits of Gollum because he wasn't fully rendered yet.
Yep.
Bonus material helps.
Hmm.
And I don't mean to jump the gun on this, but here's what I never understood, and I'm not sure if this would really count as like a plot hole or anything, but okay, you know how in Fellowship Gandalf said that if Frodo were to put on the ring, the agents of Sauron would be able to sense its power?
Yeah.
Okay, Bilbo wears the ring at least 3 or 4 times in the whole Hobbit trilogy. Where's the evil? Where's Sauron and all the ring raids and the evil and whatnot?
Maybe because Sauron didn't get his power yet. He was still recovering from his wrath.
That's the only explanation I can think of, is that Sauron wasn't powerful enough to sense it yet.
Yeah, he wasn't. And did you see that with he's trying to raise the Witch King.
I'm sorry about that.
No, Witch King. My bad.
Yeah.
Witch King is Warcraft.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I had a bit of an interruption there. And anyway, so talking about Witch King or something, I don't know
No,
exactly.
I was saying that I'm not even sure this would count as a plot hole, but in Fellowship, Gandalf states that if Frodo were to put on the ring, it would draw Sauron and the Ringwraiths to its power, and they find him. Well,
what about it?
The Hobbit, Bilbo wears the ring at least 3 or 4 times in all 3 movies. So where's Sauron? Where's the Ringwraiths? Where's all this evil that we're told about? But I figure it's probably because Sauron hasn't gained enough power yet.
Yeah, I guess you could say that, but I guess you could also say,
Yeah, Witch King, Agamor. Yeah, the Ringwraiths.
Witch King of Angmar.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And here's some trivia for you guys. You know that Morgul blade that Radagast gives to Gandalf?
Yeah.
That's the same exact Morgul blade that Frodo gets stabbed with.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay. By
That's
the
literally
way,
the same one.
all this trivia, I don't mean to sound, I guess,
Rude.
like a jerk, but I know almost every piece of trivia there is out there. I know that might sound kind of weird for me to say, but
I have a
yes.
feeling you watched the commentary.
I have a feeling I watched the films more than multiple times on extended edition and theatrical, plus every single commentary. There's 4 commentaries for each film, plus all the Hobbit films and extended. Plus read the books.
I'm not. There's only one commentary each.
There's 2. Well, no, there's 4 for the Lord of the Rings films. But yeah, the books, cartoons, games, just everything. I mean, there's none. I mean, there might be maybe a few things that you can stump me on, but even that, it's like I don't know. But I
Hey,
don't
look.
know. Not to sound like a dick or anything. Oh, what, Tavia?
Look at this.
We see nothing, or at least I do.
Oh yeah, I can't see anything either.
Can't.
No,
Damn
if
it.
you can
Parker,
try to fix
mine-
yours.
On my edit,
Hang
my
on.
version of The Hobbit, there's only like one
Yeah.
commentary track.
Yeah, on the Hobbit
Now I can
films,
see it.
there's 1 commentary track, but for Lord of the Rings, there's 4.
Wait, now I can see it.
Oh, yep. Now I see it.
Yep. Guess what I found? Someone's like butter.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Who's this? This is the Witch King from
Yep.
World of Warcraft. Well, Warcraft story.
Yeah.
But fun fact. Who won that fight? Sauron or him?
I don't really care or know, I guess. I don't know. Sorry.
John?
I don't know. There's nothing here.
Answer? Hang on.
Wait, there is an answer? Huh?
Here's my answer. No one. We could both went out there would kill each other.
They would kill each other. They would kill each other at the same time.
We could, after the Witch King would destroy after Sauron. Why? Because he had the ice dragon, an army of the dead, and plus he basically one of the more powerful at the entire universe. Well, in the entire world, more specific, in Azeroth.
Yeah.
Long story. Do you want to show it every story? Bring him kind of Anakin, but much more darker.
I'm not much of a Warcraft guy.
I'm not either. But his story is very interesting. Because he was a hero first, but then he had to turn evil. And he killed his own father.
I see.
Huh.
Yep. He's a very interesting character. Anyways.
Anyway, I finished the thumbnail so I'll just download this and change it when it's done uploading or whatever. Anyway, let's continue. Wow, we're only on the first Hobbit film. Damn.
Yeah, I'm tired.
It's okay, Tavia. I mean, if you want to go to bed or whatever, me and Sean can continue this.
I probably will to, but I'll probably have to save 10 minutes. So I probably won't stay long.
Yeah.
Let's think about the Hobbit trilogy real quick and fast.
Okay.
Alright, next movie is
The Desolation of Smaug.
this is small, which this is my being that's my favorite at the entire Hobbit trilogy. It picks up with where Unexpected Journey left off, obviously.
No, it does not. We start with a flashback.
Well, I mean, if you
Really
count
long.
chronological time.
Yeah.
I guess you could say where the film starts, but you know.
Yeah, the first time I had flashback with Gandalf talking to the foreign organ shed,
Yeah.
which I like at the beginning. That also explained how he got the key, which is cool.
Yeah,
Yep.
and then in this extended cut, there's a flashback within a flashback to the Battle of Moria where we see Thrain leading a charge to take down Izog.
Yep.
Yep.
I like that. I like that. That's very interesting.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, the Desolation of Smog, I mean, that's where all, I guess, I wouldn't say the best stuff, but maybe the most exciting stuff of the Hobbit book comes. I mean,
Yeah.
the barrels, the spiders, Smog, Lake Town, this is
Yep.
where the adventure really kicks in. And I mean, the first film, I mean, towards the third act, you know, even in the second act, that's where things started to, you know, but this is where the film is a nonstop fun, you
Yeah.
know, action adventure. I
Well,
mean, this,
decapitations.
yeah, and I mean, yeah, and the last act, like I mean, the last hour of the film is like, you know,
Yep.
Smog, and yes, they do add an extra action scene with Smog with the dwarves and stuff because it was
Oh, I
just
do love that.
yeah, you know, it was an entertaining action scene, and I'm sure they'll probably edit that out of the fan edit when I get to
They
that
better
part.
not do that because that's gonna piss me off. But I do like that action scene.
Have you guys ever heard of some guy named Confused Matthew?
Yep.
Yeah. Why?
Okay. If you haven't seen his review, he bitched about that action scene saying that there was a reason why the dwarves never engaged Smog in the book, because if they had, Smog would have kicked their ass.
Oh, boo! We're gonna climb over.
And he complains about how apparently the Smog fight beats out the droid control area from Attack of Clones, saying it's a video game that he can't play. That the programmers or the filmmakers designed the video game as a way for the dwarves to win no matter what, only allowing Smog to use fire when it benefits the dwarves.
What? I got bullshit on that completely.
He goes on to say that if it were real, then he would have used that Smog would have burned the dwarves to hell.
One, he can't do that because the area is too small. Two, he needs their energy. Three, he's been at the mountain for years. He's old.
Mhm.
Like, even if he did do that, Small actually wanted to play at it with his food before he burns it.
Yeah.
At the point. I usually agree with Kofi Madison, but sometimes it really makes no sense.
It's funny.
And also, I got a question. How do we feel about them bringing Legolas back?
I actually liked it.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense.
He's not just a cameo, he's actually a large role.
Because once you learn that, I mean, that they do have his dad in the film, which,
Yep.
you know, yeah, yeah, the Woodland Realm. But what, you know, it would kind of almost feel out of place for him not to be in the film. It would feel more weird for him to not be in it. So it makes sense. And I don't know in the Hobbit fan cut if they kept. I'm sure they keep Legolas in there. I mean, or maybe not. Who knows? Don't tell me yet, Sean.
Okay.
Okay. Because I know in the book he's not, but I'll see what happens in the fan edit.
I'm probably not gonna watch the fan. I'm probably just skip it.
All I'm going to say is that his role is greatly reduced.
Okay.
Figures.
Yeah, because I know in this film they have the kind of the love story between Tariel and Killy.
What do we love triangle? Because one, like I didn't fight at people in the paper.
Yeah, it wasn't.
Love story. That's it.
Okay, I saw this. People bitch about the Hobbit's love triangle, but yet nobody seems to realize that, wait a minute, there was also a love triangle in Lord of the Rings.
Yep.
Wow. Yet people have no problem with that one.
I
don't get people sometimes. I really
How
don't.
do I? Like I said the last time we tried doing this video, that all the problems a Hobbit has could immediately be put to Lord of the Rings.
Yep. And people come out love triangle in this movie, they come out love triangle in the Lord of the Rings. Fucking people.
Honestly, I don't even see these as 6 movies. I see it as one large saga split into 6 little parts.
Agreed.
makes sense.
Yep.
Yes.
But yeah, I mean, I think Desolation Smog is. I wouldn't say I like it more than the first Hobbit film. I mean, I like them equal. I'm gonna say. I might give the first.
It's my all-time favorite entire trilogy because It's the most action, most storytelling, most great writing. But in my opinion, holy shit, when you get to Smog, it's a very actually well built up.
Yep.
And we're at the I'm really voiced by Chuck. Chuck comes out the
Mm-hmm.
hey
Wait a minute.
exchange.
Robert Downey Jr. does the voice of Smaug?
No, not him. Different Chuck.
I know, I had to make the joke though. Okay, but speaking of Smaug, what did we think of his first, well, not really introduction, but, well, for this one it is, coming right after the Sauron reveal?
I think it was amazing.
Yeah, it was great.
The song review with the Nintendo, I was like, holy shit. It was like,
And one thing I like is his voice, okay? Because Darth Vader's voice, iconic bad guy, and his voice also adds to the character too. And that's what Smaug does too, is the voice is, I think, a very important part. I mean, especially, and the way that they design Smaug too, because you could have gone multiple ways, and I love I think it's longer than an hour thing about just the creation of Smaug. It's on the special features for the Desolation of Smaug extended cut. I definitely, have you checked out those features yet, Sean, or not yet?
I looked at some of them. I haven't looked at them all yet.
Okay, because that one is great. I mean, that one, it's like over an hour long. It's interesting.
And what I like about how they did Smaug is that I heard Cumberbatch didn't want to just do the voice. He wanted to do, like, immerse himself in the character.
Yeah,
that too.
Yeah,
Which
and they
I
also...
was surprised if, being since Andy Serkis was second unit as well, if he was there as the motion capture, like, advisor, I guess you'd say.
Mm-hmm.
That would make sense.
Well, he was also for part of the film, and I think he was a second, unit director or something.
You see, I know he did the same on Age of Ultron with Mark Ruffalo.
Yep.
Mark helped Ruffalo the Hulk motion capture.
Yep.
And side note, what a waste of Serkis in that movie anyway.
Why?
A waste of him in Force Awakens.
Well, he's coming back to Black Panther, so he wasn't totally waste.
Still, 2015, the year of wasted Andy Serkis.
I don't think so. I disagree with that, but that's just me.
I know.
Anyways.
But yeah, I mean...
Where the confrontation, I guess you could call it, between Bilbo and Smaug, in the theater, I was freaking just nailed to the... My feet were just nailed to the floor, my eyes are glued to the screen.
Yeah.
Yep,
every time that scene showed up. But then every time they cut away, I was like,
holy shit.
I know, right?
Like, I thought that it's coming.
Huh.
Like even Smaug knew Sauron was coming.
Yeah, and even in this extended cut, which I like, is they say that Smaug is in league with Sauron.
Wait, he is? Holy shit.
You did not know that?
I didn't know that.
Wow, really? Huh.
Holy crap. But yeah, that's what I liked that because it gave a reason for him going to the mountain. Because in the book, I was like, so why is Smaug going to the mountain? Like, is it just because of the gold? I don't get it. But with this, they explain because he and Sauron are a league, which is basically what Gandalf said during the White Council.
Yeah.
So, what did Sauron promise Smaug? I wonder.
The gold, obviously. I'm guessing. I don't know.
So yeah, some of it. Well, he's also Sauron's trying to take over and claim all the main lands and the main because Skype call.
Yeah.
Okay. If you want to answer it, or if you want to, or it's cool if you want to step out for a bit or whatever.
I'm fine.
Okay. Let's see here.
The one negative I will get to Smaug is the end of the cliffhanger. That pissed me off. Like, no, don't have a neck.
That's how I felt too. I was like, what the fuck?
But here's the thing. That's what great cliffhanger is. That's what a cliffhanger is supposed to do.
But yeah, when I came out of that movie, I was like, okay, now I understand how the Empire Strikes Back people felt.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Anyways, one thing I do want to talk about doing at the Saga reveal, like the extended cut also bring around to Foreign's father, and
Yeah.
holy
Oh yeah,
shit,
that's
They did
kind of
so
almost.
what the hell?
Yeah, because Thorne,
Yeah.
Thorne's father, that's kind of a subplot for the extended cuts only,
Hey,
I
Brian.
guess.
Video finished. Finished 27-minute video. As you can see, the results involve me having a complete mental breakdown. And through it, I have become stronger because I had to rewatch video, get clip from video, rewatch video again. Video corrupted the first fucking time. Then I wanted to kill my computer, but then I had to calm down before I yelled at Sean. Because as soon as he wrote, not trying to be rude, but if that doesn't happen with me, I was this close to saying, you're not the one editing 32 fucking different clips from different fucking car drives and file sources and about to have a complete mental breakdown.
Dude, I've had mental breakdowns before too.
Same here.
Well, it's cool to have you back, Brian.
That's cool. So, I'm gonna just be real as fuck. My only experience with the Lord of the Rings movies is watching the theatrical cuts one time each, watching the first Hobbit movie theatrical cut once. That
You
is
never
all.
saw the other two movies.
There were two more.
Yeah, they were.
Oh my God.
I must have been living under a rock.
Yes, you are.
Yep.
So, Brian, I'm gonna take. So you're not. You wouldn't say you're a fan of this stuff at all.
I know it exists, and I
But
like it,
Okay.
but I'm not like,
In love with it.
yeah. I mean, I own it.
Top vendors.
I'm gonna buy the theatrical cuts of the Hobbit movies because I own the theatrical cuts of Lord of the Rings. And if I got
And it's in the cut.
if I got the extended cut of Lord of the Rings, like the extended cut of the Hobbit movies,
Yeah.
and didn't have the extended cut of Lord of the Rings, it would make no sense.
Dude, the extended ones are good. Get those.
Okay.
Anyway, Brian, I'm glad you can join us. And how did you get on the Hangout anyway?
Sean gave me link. I
Oh,
just
cool.
came here to have my live mental breakdown on camera.
Sounds good, Brian.
Nice. Anyway, Joe, I think it's midnight. I think I'm sleep. But before I go, I want to give my final on the Harvard Church. Or I'll give my 5 armies.
Yeah.
Okay, buy a 5 army quick and fast. Harvard Plan success at the of Detonator's party, and Batman picks up where Detonator's Smog have done, with Smog attacking Lake Town. Which, that's an awesome opening. Like, holy shit.
But it should have been the end of the second movie, though.
Yeah, I agree with that. So that should have been the ending. Oh well. It started with intense. Like, holy shit.
What the fuck?
No, in fact, one guy with Bard, like, Bard at the end of that action sequence with Smog with
I know.
very well done. Like, Sean, what's your opinion?
I like the movie. I think it's the weakest in the trilogy, though.
It may be the beginning of the trilogy, but you know what? It's still a good ending to the trilogy. Like, I like the.
And it connects very well to Fellowship.
Yep.
You know, I wouldn't consider it the weakest. I could, it's like Return of the Jedi. It's like I could see why people would consider it to be the weakest, but I don't personally. I could see the reasons. I can understand the reasons, but
I actually like it.
might not necessarily agree with them. But yeah, so I guess that's one comparison there. But yeah, I mean, the Battle of the Five Armies is definitely just the last act of a story made into a film.
Yeah.
But there is, I guess, multiple storylines going on that they not necessarily had in the book because they added stuff, obviously. But
Yep. Yeah.
the main focus, which I do like, is Thorin and the dwarves. And Bilbo too, because that's one thing that a lot of, I guess, people who don't necessarily like the Hobbit films, they say that Bilbo ain't the main character, which makes sense because the film is called The Hobbit. Okay.
Yeah. Thorin's story.
I would say once it gets to Desolation of Smaug, it's more of Thorin's story. He's more the focus. I would say Unexpected Journey is more of Bilbo's film, and because at the end, Thorin, well, yeah, I guess Bilbo earns Thorin's respect and his. I mean, at the end, yeah. So I would say the first Hobbit film would be more of Bilbo's story.
Second movie is more like foreign story of basically conquering and basically killing Smaug. Well, technically killing Smaug as the Bard did. Which Bard in this movie actually became a great leader, which I liked.
Yeah, and I don't know if any of you guys would have attached the opening scene of Battle of the Five Armies at the end of Desolation of Smaug or not. Do you have any opinions on that? Sean or Tavia or because Brian, you probably don't. You probably have no idea what the hell we're talking about.
No. What a fucking clue. Why am I here?
Because you said give me link.
Oh yeah.
I know.
This is my opinion on the Hobbit trilogy. I don't fucking know what my opinion is. What I do know that I saw the first movie either a few days before I saw Cat in the Hot Tin Roof in New York, which had Scarlett Johansson live. So I saw Scarlett Johansson in person a few days after I saw The Hobbit. And that was glorious.
Yes, he's obsessed with Scarlett Johansson.
Yeah.
I mean, aren't we all?
Have you seen my DeviantArt account?
Yep.
Wait, don't go on my DeviantArt account. It's too fucked up.
I won't. Anyway, what was that? Oh, yeah. Wasn't that another argument? They have to show the one kind chicken ass.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
I love that.
I'm gonna yell at my video editor. Render, you motherfucker! Render.
Anyways, like the White Counter was an awesome acting sequence with the ghost because I didn't expect to see the White Counter kick ass. You got the White Counter would just go be like the Jedi Council, but the White Counter did something at the spot. They attacked Sauron, and then they came back with amazing. Take that, the haters. Anyways, what to talk about? Born Descent of Madness. Very interesting and very dark and creepy.
Yeah.
And, that entire sequence forward going insane really freaked me out. Like, holy shit.
Yeah.
The battle with the Fire was a great battle. I started felt like I've not seen this like covered everything yet. One cat I didn't like at the end battle with the stupid sidekick from the King of Lake Down, well, former King of Lake Down died.
Alfred.
Oh.
Yeah, Alfred's so annoying.
Yeah.
Oh, and then we see him die.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun to watch.
But he's not as bad as Jar Jar Binks. That's what we can all.
Yeah, he's not that bad.
Stupid Gungan motherfucker so good in the goddamn TV show. Because he's not as fucking annoying. And George Lucas gave the creators the A-OK to treat Georgia like fucking shit.
Wrong TV show, and
I
wrong
said the Clone Wars.
franchise. Anywho, what was I? Oh yeah, that's the one character I didn't like, but everything else is fine. I mean, it's a great movie. It's a great ending to Fallen Sword. And Fallen died. I really cried. I really did. That was depressing. Like, the guy wanted to live.
Well, of course, I read the book, so I knew what happened. But did you guys expect that or not, or what was the?
I think I read the book before.
I call you back.
It still got me.
I leave now. Too much spoiler.
Oh yeah, spoiler.
Oops.
That's what happens when you come in and you don't know shit.
Spoilers! Necromancer Sauron!
I'm gonna spoil this. In the Jungle Book, Scarlett Johansson voices Ka.
I think we all know that already.
Most confusing boner ever.
Oh my god.
Anyways.
I feel where Mowgli was coming from.
Anywho.
I just admitted
I'm gonna wrap my thoughts up because I'm getting tired.
Bye, people.
Point Orchestra Dev activate the present and
Thanks for your epic cameo, Brian.
Epic cameo? I'm gonna wrap this up again and sweep. Point Orchestra Dev with a great way to send up, invade the present. Bilbo like a journey with a great journey. Yep. All the dwarves are great as well. The battle with saying it's a great battle, and despite what the haters are saying with this movie should have been 2 minutes, I say no. The high movie should be like 2 minutes, yeah, but it didn't really make sense. Granted, I'm kind of 50-50, but you know it was a great ending to the entire Hobbit trilogy. The great setting up to Bilbo's story, was setting up to Orchestra story, and the great setting up to 12 Dwarves, which in the book, did they ever come out? The 12 Dwarves, did they all die?
Not all of the dwarves. I think more in the book die.
Yeah. Well, no, not in the movie. I meant after the whole adventure. What happens to them?
Oh, well, remember how in Fellowship of the Ring, when the Fellowship reaches
Moria
and Balin's tomb, you know Balin, he was one of the 13 dwarves, that's his tomb. And the book
is laying on it.
And that one book that Gandalf is reading out of in that same sequence in like you know, in the room, that book was written by I think Ori or Dory or something. Yeah.
Ori. Holy shit. Wow. That is dark, and that's the one that said ending the story I've ever seen. I did not realize that. Thank you, Hobbit. Thank you, I think we had a great ending to the trilogy, and then there's sad ending Lord of the Rings. Anywho, final thoughts. I love all Hobbit movie after the great prequel trilogy, and is it the best prequel trilogy of all time? No, but you know what? It's still a great trilogy to Lord of the Rings. And to all the haters, stop hating the Hobbit. Hobbit's a great trilogy. It's not that bad. Do you want the bad prequel trilogy? What the Star Wars prequels? But we'll be all there to about that. Alright, I'm going to bed, so see you guys.
Okay, take care, Tavia. Have a good night, man.
You too. Cheers, Sean. Have a good night, guys.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, it's just us. Now it's time for The Lord of the Rings. Here we go. Okay, well, I guess I can wrap up my thoughts before we move on to that, for The Hobbit. Overall, it was worth the journey. It was worth the way I think it was personally. And if you are someone who doesn't like them or has problems or a lot of issues, we agree to disagree. No problem there. I'm not, it's fine. It's cool. Just yeah. I mean, but yeah. So I enjoyed them. They're good prequels to the Lord of the Rings, and I think good Hobbit films. Um, but Battle of Five Armies, I would say it's a war film. It is definitely a war film. I mean it, and I mean yeah. I mean, Smog, he's in the film for the first, like, yeah, well, and then some people like to say, I think he was just put in there for, like, marketing wise. Stick him in a few shots of the trailer so people know, oh yeah, that dragon's back. He was pretty cool in the last film. I'm gonna go and see this one because of the dragon, and he's, in it for like, not too long. But I don't really think it was a marketing. Well, I guess it may be, but also it's kind of a cool way to start out the film too. Because with Two Towers, we got the epic Gandalf and Balrog fight, which was a great way to start out the film. Just kick total ass, and I think this opening sequence with Smog was pretty awesome too, especially in the theater. And this is the only Middle Earth movie that doesn't have a prologue at the beginning. It just jumps straight into the story. But I guess Two Towers could be a prologue. But again, well, I guess because Frodo. I guess it's a dream sort of thing, which I know some people said, well, is that exactly what happened, or is that what Frodo imagined, or anything? But anyway, so I guess that Balrog fight is a prologue or whatever. Anyway, but yeah, overall, the Hobbit trilogy, good stuff. There are flaws, but I wouldn't say they're like major flaws. They're more just like small things that could be tweaked up. But yeah, I'm excited to watch the rest of the fan edits. I'm enjoying. I'll do my own separate reviews for those. Like,
It's actually meant to be one
so
film.
look out for those. And what?
That's actually one whole film split in two parts.
Yeah. And they're like each 2 hours, which is cool. But yeah, so Hobbit trilogy, worth the wait, worth everything, and yeah, it is one of the better prequel trilogies or series or whatever out there. I mean, so yeah, overall, I guess I can rate each individual film, and then overall for the entire trilogy. Um, First Hobbit film, there again, I didn't really say a flaw, or I didn't even mention something that I disliked. But if I try to think of something now, it's like um, there could be some small things, but overall, I'm gonna have to give it an A because it still gets what it. I mean, it does what it. I mean, it's just There's so much good. There is so much good in it that it almost those flaws I can't even see them or notice them or don't even care that much about them. There's a lot of good, and that's also with the Desolation of Smog is that it definitely improves, I guess, on the pacing mainly. Also, you could say structure of the film, but yeah, because the middle part of the Hobbit book is the Desolation of Smog, and when you're doing, a second film of any trilogy, I can understand how it can get hard because where does it begin? Because it doesn't have a clear beginning or end. Um, but what they did, with the film was pretty good, to be honest. So yeah, then I mean, overall, the Hobbit trilogy was a success in my mind. It didn't fail. It wasn't. I mean, it didn't piss me off. And when you think about it, all the stuff Peter Jackson added to the film that wasn't in the book, all that stuff was part of Tolkien's, stuff. Those were all stories that actually happened and that he created. So it's not like Peter Jackson's pulling stuff out of his ass. No, this is actual stuff that Tolkien set up and already had established before the films came out. So there's that too. But and anyway, yeah. If you want, Sean, say your overall thoughts on the Hobbit films and anything more you want to add about them, and we'll move on to Lord of the Rings.
Okay. My overall final thoughts and whatnot. I saw every single Hobbit movie in the theater. First one I saw twice in the theater because I was supposed to go with a friend, but they had other plans, so I went the second time mainly because of the original plan didn't work out.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw it again, and I was happy for it. Like I said, I saw the other two in theaters, had a great time with them, and on both versions on DVD, theatrical and extended cuts. They're overall just great films, a lot of fun to watch. They really add to the cinematic mythos. And they overall, and I know this may sound weird me saying this, but they overall enhance my enjoyment and my appreciation for the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
So I really enjoy all three Hobbit movies. They're a lot of fun to watch, and I just have a great time watching them.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So yeah, let's move on to the Lord of the Rings. Okay, now this was known as the impossible. It was known as
The unfilmable trilogy.
how in the hell would you make a film about or an adaptation of the Lord of the Rings? How in the hell would you possibly begin? And this film was like, if you watch the early production stuff and behind the scenes stuff, Peter Jackson and everyone went to studio from studio to studio, seeing who would be up for taking this risk. And I bet all those studios are, just going back and saying, wow, those films were huge successes, and well, we should have stuck with Peter Jackson's idea, but of course, because I think it was I think I forgot the studio name, but they said we would like to do it. Yeah. It was Miramax. They said, actually, we would like to do it in one film. Okay, you must be like high to know to even.
Here's what I don't mean to interrupt, but here was the original plan: is that when Jackson was shopping around studios, he had planned to do it as a 2-movie series because he never thought that any studio would risk making 3 films.
Yeah.
Then when Miramax picked it up, they said, we want you to condense this all into 1 movie. Jackson said, well, I can't do that because that would require cutting a lot of stuff out. And Miramax basically said, well, you have 2 weeks, but then you have 2 weeks to find a new studio or you're just done. And then he got an interview with Michael Lynn and Bob Shea through a friend of his who worked at New Line, and then showed them a 35-minute demo reel. And then Bob Shea basically said that, are there 3 books? You should make 3 movies. And that's how the trilogy came to be.
Exactly. That I knew it all before. Oh, there's some.
I was basically telling the people who didn't know that.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Good. So yeah, that's the history of the production. Anyway, but yeah. So I mean, this was. But what's cool is they filmed all of it at once, and they didn't necessarily film it in sequence. They jumped to Return of the King, then 2 Towers, then back to. They jumped all over the place.
Pretty much.
Yeah. But what they accomplished in almost every direction, the characters, the story, the music, the cinematography, the editing, the effects, the action, the directing, the acting, there's everything. I cannot find a flaw with any story problems, any bad acting, any bad characters, anything. If you say what's the one thing wrong with the Lord of the Rings films? I can't think of it.
Here's some fun trivia for you, though. I'm not sure if you knew this, but Ian McKellen was actually filming both Lord of the Rings and the first X-Men movie at the same time.
Yep.
So he had to jump in between.
Yep. Yeah.
Or I think I actually read that Singer and Jackson made a deal that McKellen could do X-Men first, but then had to come back to do Lord of the Rings. Or something to that extent.
Yeah.
So I thought that was really cool that he was able to do both movies.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And then he got to do that again about 12 years later. with The Hobbit and Days of Future Past.
Yep. See, I'm just editing something quick, but yeah, I mean, this was the best. Yeah, I mean, can you find a flaw in the film? I mean, in the entire trilogy, it's like I can't think of anything. It's I know it's a lot of people say, well, a film is never perfect. Well, yeah, I guess so.
I honestly can't think of anything.
Yeah, to complain about. Saying, why are we even trying to find things to complain about? No, but yeah, okay. Let's not just go by individual films. Let's go with just the Lord of the Rings trilogy in general. I mean, everything is perfect. I mean, is the characters, the story, just everything is great. The extended cuts, are the definitive, cuts. And a lot of people would say, well, the theatrical cuts should be the the main one, but because it's not the Star Wars thing, okay? The special editions were just that was a terrible idea. I mean, thank God Peter Jackson hasn't gone back to those films and did what George did with the Star Wars films, okay?
Well, in the commentary for Unexpected Journey, one of the co-writers who did the commentary with him basically asked if he would reinsert Martin Freeman finding the ring in Unexpected Journey into a re-release of Fellowship, and he actually said that he would consider it.
Yes, but here's the thing: is that stuff. Oh well, yes, I have heard that before. So I know he said that, but again, that for some reason is not as bad as adding pointless CGI in certain scenes, or in my eyes, or just adding stupid shit, adding stupid stuff, I just don't see it as a.
If I was to nitpick anything about Lord of the Rings, like anything, it'd be this. If you watch the extended edition of Fellowship of the Ring, right?
Yeah.
All right. Say you watch all six extended editions. Okay.
Okay.
The opening scene, we'll say, of Unexpected Journey takes place, roughly 30 minutes before Fellowship?
Mm-hmm.
Roughly?
Something like that.
Okay. So does Bilbo just get amnesia within 30 minutes or something? I'm being serious. Because in Unexpected Journey, Frodo even tells him that he's going to meet Gandalf. Then in the Fellowship Extended Edition, it's like, where is that boy? It's like, dude, did you just get amnesia in 30 minutes? I know you're 111, but dang, did you get amnesia? You getting Alzheimer's there, Bilbo? I mean, okay, that's my only nitpick with the movies. Is it's like,
yeah.
I know you're getting older, Bilbo, but are you getting Alzheimer's too?
Wow. It's kind of funny, I guess. I don't know.
What, did I just blow your mind?
No, I mean I knew that, but I mean the way you said, the way you phrased it, and it's kind of, yeah.
Well, it just makes no sense. Like, did he lose his memory or something?
Yeah, I can see how it can kind of be weird, I guess.
But yeah, other than that, great movies though.
And again, that ain't necessarily a flaw. It's just, I mean,
it's just something I noticed.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there is nothing to complain about at all. I can't find anything. Well, that one echo, is it your side or something? Your end?
I don't know.
Okay, I can try to fix mine and see if it changes or whatever. Plug in different headphones or something. So if you want to continue talking, go right ahead.
I was just going to say that I think if they were to do a re-release of Fellowship, not only could they put Martin Freeman in it, but they could also fix it so that Bilbo doesn't have amnesia.
Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, it's just a little thing I found in the movie. It's okay. It's just something I noticed.
Yeah. Okay, I put in these new headphones. Hopefully I won't hear an echo or something. I kind of heard it again. I don't know. Well,
Who
do you have your
knows?
headphones in, or?
No.
Oh, well, that could be it, but I don't know. Anyway. I mean, yeah, dude, it's like, if you've seen these films, I'm sure you know that there's, like, nothing to nitpick. It's, like, the perfect film trilogy next to the original Star Wars trilogy, next to the Toy Story trilogy, next to, I mean, Dark Knight trilogy, next to, it is just, I mean, it would definitely be in the top 5 or top 10 film trilogies of all time. It would, screw it. It would be my number one, favorite, and it's my favorite film of all time. The Lord of the Rings is just, it's the fantasy epic. It's when you want to go watch a fantasy film, this is what you watch. I mean, it's the gold standard, and I know that there's been films that kind of came out in the recent years that not necessarily tried to capture what Lord of the Rings got, but most of them sucked, to be honest. But they just haven't. And I'm not talking about Harry Potter. I mean, that stuff was, I love that stuff too. But that still got nowhere close to Lord of the Rings, But that's just me. Um, but yeah, I mean, it's like even the changes from book to film, they 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 were logical changes. They weren't stupid changes or pointless changes or a change for the sake of a change. They they had reasons to change some stuff up, and you know which that's what's and that's good because I mean it's kind of stupid just to change stuff to change it because and I mean, I don't need to list changes. I mean, unless but there are plenty of changes from book to film, and I mean, with every adaptation, there's tons of, I mean, similarities and differences, and some lines in the book could be, Sean, you type something. I don't want to interrupt your train of thought, but whoops, it just disappeared. 1 second. You interrupt your train of thought, but we've been talking for an hour and 46 minutes. Holy crap. Well, good to know. Thanks, Sean.
Continue.
Anyway, so as I was saying, with every adaptation, well, no, actually, I was saying that there are sometimes lines that, I don't know, Lord Elrond would say in Rivendell, I guess, that are thrown in Gondor, or just lines that are changed or said by different characters. But yeah, I can name some examples there, but I don't want to drag on for too long because we already been talking for almost two hours. But yeah, I mean, the size and scope and the epicness of this trilogy is amazing. I mean, and is just beyond amazing on how they pulled it off too. I mean, it's crazy. So, and what's cool is that this trilogy, I think, I wouldn't say, because each film I would say is a masterpiece, but they almost still get better and better as as you go on. And I'm not saying this with every trilogy. There's a few exceptions, but with most trilogies, the third one, I guess, is the weakest installment. At least it might not be. I'm not, and it wouldn't necessarily be bad, but it's just not as good as the others, I guess. But this is like completely the opposite. The third one is the best, and all of them are just amazing films. And I haven't met one person throughout my journey across the internet, throughout the world, anyone who says these films are bad or say they suck. I've met people who personally, on a personal thing, don't like them or are bored by them, but that doesn't mean they say they're bad. It's just not their thing. So I haven't met a person who said this film sucks. I mean, it's like, or I've seen people who said the Hobbit films suck and say they're bad films, but not Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. And the one thing I don't get about Return of the King is why did they cut Christopher Lee out of it?
Um,
I mean, if you want to just cut something How about cut one of the bajillion endings you have?
Again, it's like, yeah,
Because
that was actually kind of stupid. They cut out.
to quote Doug Walker, because if you're gonna cut something, why not cut one of the bajillion endings you have? That's where people started to fall asleep, not in the first 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, oh, these first 5 minutes aren't grabbing me. Maybe the next 3 hours will be fun.
So,
So,
but
in
yeah.
that regard, I appreciate the extended cut. We do get some stuff that I understand had to be cut out for time and pacing reasons.
Mhm. Yeah, and I'm thinking about this because I've been kind of thinking about it while we've been live. If I should do separate reviews for especially the Lord of the Rings films or something by myself too, and I might because there might be stuff I forgot to say here that I wanted to say because a lot of stuff that I might be able to take notes and say on there. So I might review those sometime soon. But yeah, anyway. Yeah, favorite film of all time, favorite trilogy of all time. What other praise do you need? I mean, it's like once you say it's your favorite film of all time, it's like what else do I need to say? I mean, I can go on for hours talking about this. Like, it's kind of weird how I mean, it might seem kind of weird how I'll say this, but I think I could teach a class on the history of Lord of the Rings and Hobbit and all the other Tolkien stuff. Even the Silmarillion, I can just talk about that and other books and other stories and characters and places and things like that. It's weird. It's like I'm sure the kids would be bored or the students will, but I mean, it's weird. It's like I can just talk about this stuff for hours on end and stuff, but I'm not going to do that here because I don't want to stay up too late and got to get some sleep and don't want to be too well. Plus, I don't want to bore any of you guys who are watching. Or anyway. But yeah, I might kind of end it here. We talked for almost 2 hours. But yeah, I mean, if there's anything you want to add, Sean, go ahead and we can kind of wrap it up.
Amazing series of films.
Yep, exactly. Yep.
And I will get these two unextended editions someday.
Yep.
Even if I have to get the box set again.
Yeah. Anyway, so yeah, me and Sean both love these films too. We talked about thanks for joining Tavia for a bit, and Brian too for his cameo, I guess, his glorified cameo in this podcast hangout or whatever.
Yes.
But yeah. Anyway, that's been our epic fan discussion of the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit films. I hope you enjoyed. Share your thoughts in the comment section. In the comment section below. Sean, where can we find you?
Find me on YouTube, Vader200591. Links to my Facebook, Twitters, and Google accounts are on there.
Cool. So yeah, and of course you're watching this on my channel. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. Take care. Hope you enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next review or live stream. Or take care, and may the Force be with you. Later.
Bye.